Well, the final report is in, but we still have questions about last year's deadly shooting of a sailor on the USS Mahan.
But no one at Naval Station Norfolk would go on camera to answer our follow-up questions. Last night at 10, we told you about the report. It concluded the gate security at the world's largest naval base dropped the ball when it led a truck onto military property. That driver, Jeffrey Savage, ended up overpowering another sailor and killed Master-at-Arms Second Class Mark Mayo. 10 on your side's Deanna LeBlanc is here now with more details on that report. Deanna?
Yeah, Nicole and Tom, we may never know why Jeffrey Savage wanted to get on the USS Mahan. There's still no insight into his motive. But now we know more about a major security breakdown that cumulatively led to the death of a petty officer whose actions the investigator called brave and selfless.
Gate 5, Naval Station Norfolk, the first line of defense at the world's largest naval base. It's staffed by civilian watchstanders or police officers employed by the Department of the Navy, 4 of whom displayed, according to the investigator, quote, lack of capability and professionalism to carry out basic tasks. First, request and confirm Jeffrey Savage's ID card. The police officer checking IDs said he thought Savage was only driving through to make a U-turn. The police officer should have deployed an anti-access control system when Savage didn't turn around, but instead continued checking in several other cars before informing a fellow police officer of a gate runner, then waited several more minutes before going to look for Savage. Savage, as we've previously reported, drove the cab of his truck to Pier 1 where the USS Mahan was docked. The Gate 5 police officer finally located the empty truck. Savage had already breached pier security. That police officer did nothing more and returned to Gate 5. According to the investigation, it was in that moment of his return to the gate that he heard the call on his radio. Shots fired. Mark Mayo had been hit. According to Admiral Bill Gortney, who approved the investigation, the failure of the Gate 5 civilian police to initiate gate runner procedures or otherwise notify security watchstanders on the base that an unauthorized individual had accessed the base set in motion the chain of events that led to Petty Officer Mayo's death. But the investigation revealed other telling and alarming security breakdowns. Duress signals in different areas of the base broken. Several security cameras did not work that night, and some communication equipment failed. In fact, the investigation found that someone on the Mahan had to physically run down the pier and across the street to notify base dispatch of shots fired and request an ambulance.
And many of the errors the investigation found were part of what they call a culture of entitlement, that many gate guards of senior ranks took nights and weekends off, leaving lower-ranking gate guards to man them without supervision. But the Navy says much of that has now changed, and there's still more changes to come. Tonight at 6, I'll explain who's being reprimanded, how, and what the Navy is changing about security on installations across the region. I'm Deanna LeBlanc, 10 on your side.